he may be starting in a different place. And we extend God's mercy. And we say, you know what? It doesn't matter what you've done. God saved me. And a wrong is a wrong. And so we can start working on that. Be kind to one another. Forgiving each other. And then, just to help us all, Paul says, you know, if you're having trouble forgiving, remember what God did for you. He forgave us. So I kind of unintentionally jumped to the end there. I did want to look at that one thing. Let no unwholesome word proceed from your mouth. I grew up, we had a generic name for all language my parents didn't like. It was swearing. You know, don't go swearing around here. Well, if you look it up in the dictionary, a whole lot of it was just filthy talk. It really wasn't swearing. But they just used that broad category, and we did obey them. And you know, we did monitor our speech. But so often, people like to, I think people like to, you know, go to the dictionary and say, I can swear, I can say this. I can't swear because that's against the Bible, but I can do this, I can say this. Paul is taking a much broader brush here and saying, let no unwholesome word proceed from your mouth. That means you could even be saying good things to bring about a bad picture. You know, you haven't uttered a bad word at all. You just painted a bad picture of somebody. You're condemned here. That'd be unwholesome. But only such a word as is good for edification. Only speak things that build up. And I don't know where teasing and joking comes in. I don't think God's got a problem with, you know, some joking around. So I don't mean that. But we do want to, when we part company with somebody, they should be better off than when we met. Maybe just a smidgen. But if when we get together, our speech brings a person down or paints a gloomy picture, there's something wrong. Kathy and I were in Puerto Rico for a year. And you know, I wish all Christians were always doing the right thing. But we were in a mission setting, and for maybe 3 weeks, it seemed like everybody was grumbling about somebody else. And that spreads. I don't garden, but I can grow weeds. It's easy. You know, I mean, they just grow by themselves. John, my son-in-law, he's trying gardening this year, and he found out the weeds grow easy. Our speech easily becomes bad. We have to work to keep it wholesome, to keep it pure, to keep it words that edify. But Paul's saying, do that. He says, speak what's good for edifying. You know, according to the need. It may be a hard word, but it can be a word that edifies. So that it will give grace to those who hear. I remember we came down to Puerto Rico, jumping back to the story, and somebody, I suspected it was Kathy, I don't actually know who it was, but in our little serving line, our whole dining room was about the size of 2/3 the pews on one side. It was a pretty little group, 40 people. And so our serving counter was about twice the size of the piano. But somebody had put a little verse, they put this verse on the counter. What are you going to say? You know, you're among all Christians, you're all pretending to be Christian, and you got your little tray and you read it. You can't go, oh, that's a dumb verse. You just have to kind of either pretend you didn't see it, or you have to go, boy, I've been a little guilty. And things did change over the next few days. It's people, they just started watching their mouth. And I think that's something we need. I say we at the wrong time, I say, you know, that's something I always have to watch. I don't know where all you are, but Paul gives us something to go for. He says, you know, speak kind words. So in this section, the things I hit were being truthful. That alone will take care of a whole lot of the talk, won't it? Being truthful, Don't stay angry. Forgive, and let our speech and really our whole manner of life be one that gives grace to other people as they watch, both in the church and outside the church. I think that we should be living so the non-Christians, they may disagree with us, but yet they respect us. They know there's something there. And that was one of the things I got out of that sermon of Swindoll's, is he said a lot of these football players hadn't turned to Christ. They weren't Christians, and yet they respected Tom Landry because they knew he was a man that walked how he said people should. Let's pray.